What's up, guys? Straight from the chest. My name is Justin Groth, and I'm your host on this personal development podcast. Guys, if you're new, welcome. Thank you for giving me your listening ear. And if you've been with me for any length of time, thank you. It means a lot to me, guys. You're never going to get this time back, and that's why I'm just so truly appreciative of it. I think we're going to start something new on this podcast. It's going to be a segment that we're going to do occasionally. And like the We're Not Friends segment, it's going to be Question Your Life segment. Meaning, if you do this, you got to question your life. Like, really, question your life. Today, Ross opened. So, like, that's a big deal in this town. If you're not familiar with what a Ross is, it's just like, it's like a JCPenney or Marshall's or whatever you have in your town. I mean, it's the same thing as a JCPenney or something like that, or a Pick and Save. No, not Pick and Save. I shouldn't say Pick and Save. Anyways, it's not exciting, but because of the pandemic situation, everything is slowly starting to reopen again. It's exciting. And we got this Ross coming back, right? So anyways, my mom and I, we go, my mom was like, we got to get there 15 minutes beforehand, 30 minutes beforehand. There might be lines and shit. And so we get there, and there's no lines. And there's nothing like inside the store. There's like nothing, hardly anything. I'm telling you, like it made me think like we just need to turn around. Like this is ridiculous. It's worthless being here. And so, but it was kind of good because we had a lot of other things that we wanted to do. So it was good that we got that done and over in like 15 minutes, because that could have easily been a 45-minute trip with my mom. So we left, and as we're leaving, the Ross stands outside of a Taco Bell. And let me tell you, this is like 10 in the morning. We're still in the morning. This is 10 a.m. And there's people in the Taco Bell drive-thru at 10 a.m. What are you doing with your life if you're in the Taco Bell drive-thru anytime, but preferably in the morning? More preferentially in the morning. That's what I meant to say there. In the morning. What are you doing with you got to question your life, dude. If you wake up in the morning, you're like, I got to get breakfast. I'm going to go to Taco Bell. What? What are you thinking? Like, you're setting the stage for shit productivity the rest of the day. And I get it, it's Sunday. Maybe you don't do this every day. You surely wouldn't do it on a Monday, thank God. But any day you do this, any day, it's like, what? Like, I have had cheat days before, okay? I've gone like a month straight of no cheat meals, and I'm like, I'm just going to put this all on one day, right? Have a cheat day. Even in that cheat day, I will not ruin myself with something like that low-grade food in the morning. It's not going to happen, because I know I'll be worthless the rest of the day. And I'm not saying that... if I was to eat something like pancakes and syrup, then I'm still not going to be worthless for at least a few hours. I will be, but I'll feel some type of way if I have Taco Bell or Carl's Jr. or McDonald's or anything like that first thing in the morning. I'll feel some type of way. I'll honestly feel depressed, and I might even become suicidal. I don't know, because really, I've ruined that day. And you don't know me personally. I don't like to ruin days. I don't like to ruin days with workouts. I think we're going to go off topic here for all my workout buddies. Look, man, if you're doing chest in one day, you wasted that day. Sorry, you did. It's not a productive day. Takes nothing to do with chest workout. It's nothing. Like, if you don't pair chest and something, you're fucking ruined that day. Just saying. That's me though. So if I eat Taco Bell in the morning, ruining the day. It's ruined. Gotta question your life, man. Like, really question, what are you doing if you have Taco Bell or any fast food chain 10 a.m. in the morning? That's like drinking. 10 a.m. in the morning. You got a problem. There's something, and we all got problems. I'm not saying all problems. I got a plethora of problems. I am saying, however, though, that is not one of them, and I'm thankful for that because that will dictate a lot of what I do in my day. Guarantee if I talk about 10 in the morning, I'm not jumping on this podcast. I'm going to be shitting my brains out instead. That's it. Not going to be on the podcast, not even thinking clearly. So, question your life if you're contemplating or going through the drive-thru of Taco Bell or any fast food chain early in the morning. And I know you're probably thinking, man, you're really hating on those people. You're really, turning that dagger inside their chest. Yes, on purpose, because that is definitely a horrific way to live your life. Eating Taco Bell first thing in the morning. Just saying. And if that sticks with you, if that convicts you, good. You need to change that habit real quick. Anyways, we're moving on. But no, man, so we had a productive day so far. And one of which was going to Ross and finding there was nothing there. But then the other part of the day was a little bit later after that. I came home, she dropped me off, we went grocery shopping, dropped me off, and I had this beard at this point. I had this so I grew out a beard, and then I cut it down to where it's just my goatee, and I always wanted to do it for the longest time. I wanted to do it because I felt like, yeah, man, it's going to be real intimidating looking, and I'm not an intimidating person at all, so at least I feel in my look. So I feel like if I grew that, if I just kept it like that, that'd be kind of funny, but kind of cool too at the same time. So I did it, and I didn't like it, but I kept it for like a day or two. And then when I got dropped off here today, I cut the bitch off. It's gone. Now I have nothing. And then I look at my face in the mirror, and this happened before when I would grow a beard. And I grow a pretty long beard when I grow beards. I don't just grow like an inch or so. And that's not a beard, that's just scruff. But anyways, I take it off, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to my face, dude? I'm sorry to cuss, but it just adds some drama to the picture, and I want it to sit with you like the way that I was thinking, and that's what I'm thinking. What the fuck happened to my face? And even though I gotta tell myself, look, I'm just, my brain doesn't understand why my chin is not further down on my face because I've had this beard, and it seemingly extends my chin down. But I gotta understand that my bone structure did not change. It's still the same. And it's just gonna take some adjustment to get through it, like a day or two. And so the first time I cut my beard though, the first time I grew it out long, I remember thinking legitimately, not legit, I hate that. I hate saying the word. I don't know why I even just said it right now. Legitimately, my bone structure changed in my face. And it didn't, clearly, because that doesn't happen. Well, at least not in this case. But I just, my brain, my nervous system was so used to seeing it a certain way. And then when it saw it the other way, it's like, nope, this is foreign. We don't know what this looks like. We don't know what this is. And that's why we're confused right now. So you're going to be confused as a result. And I was, definitely. But anyways, so I cut it off. I'm done with it. And I feel good about it. I don't have, postpartum issues with beards like some guys do with their beards. I feel like if they grow it out and because they're taking care of it, they're, moisturizing it and trimming it and shampooing, conditioning, which you should be, because if you don't, it'll stink. But because they do that and they take care of it, they grow some type of identity associated with it. And that's never, when I first started it, I could see that being a problem. But this next time, and the times they're going to travel, the times they're going to come beyond this, it's not really an issue. It's not my identity, dude. I don't care about a beard that much. I cut it off, I'll grow it back, not a big deal, right? Some guys are totally different. They grow that shit, and they're just like, I have to keep this because it's how people know me. And I'm only attractive now with this beard. For some guys, it's probably the case. I don't know. I think I look less attractive with a beard. We're not even going to talk about my attraction level because that's on a different tangent. I'm not going to call that gay, but it's gay, and you know, I don't mean to be politically correct here, because when I say gay, I mean I don't mean it like, I'm gay, but I mean it like that's gay. I don't want to talk about that right here, right now. I'm not going to do it. So, anyways, but I go to my parents' house after that, and I go in the pool. We go. My parents have the luxury of having a pool, so that's a blessing, and I can get some exercise in. And so I go in the pool, and I gotta get this. Like, I'm on a time schedule because I gotta get back. I got stuff I want to do at my house before I do the podcast, and so anyways, I get in the pool kind of in a hurry, or yeah, I was probably in a hurry, and I jump in the pool and I dive in. And I'm not a diver, I'm not a swimmer, so I don't really know how to properly dive. I don't know what, I know what depth we're in. We're in the 3 feet part of the pool. And I dive in a little bit too headstrong. And as I'm submerging, I feel like, and this will happen within the second or second and a half that it all hits you. But as I'm submerging, I feel like I'm traveling at a more than high velocity than I should be, I feel. This is all in my thought process, my conscience, like in a split second as I hit the water and I submerge into the pool. And I feel like this is going too fast. I'm probably gonna hit my head and I don't hit my head, but I scrape my chest at the bottom. And I thought I was the only one that probably understood that was happening. My mom was watching me. She said, "You gotta be careful. You almost hit your head." And I'm like, first of all, how did you even know that? Because you can't really tell in the water, but I guess you can in that pool. And she was like, people don't see the bottom all the time. And that's how they end up tweaking their neck and everything. And she made this big old like horror scene in my head. And I felt like at the time I didn't say anything, but I'm like thinking, shit, that's right. And I said, I know, thank God I didn't, man. That could have ruined me in that split second. Could have been ruined. Like, and those little things, man, it's just like, it makes you reflect. Maybe when you were younger, you wouldn't reflect on something like that, but when you're older, you think, gosh, man, thank you, God, for saving me on that. Like, and it was nothing. I wasn't trying to be a stunt man or anything. I just was like, I got to get this shit done. Let's dive, And I just dove with way too much speed and velocity behind me. And, but luckily, nothing happened. Anyways, but I went in head first. I never go head first. Like, I'm always a cannonball type of guy or whatever. But I went head first this time, and it almost cost me, I'm not going to say my life, but it almost cost me a paralyzing situation, which is what my mom put in my head. Like, it could have paralyzed you. Like, you tweak your neck, paralyze you. Shit, man. So that's that. Thank you, Lord, for saving me on that. But man, so there's a reason. You might be thinking, like, you're just going to talk about your entire day. Like, yeah, I am, but I'm not at the same time. I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to tell you why. Head first is a lot of the things that I feel like diving in head first to a pool. Okay, that's just obviously a metaphor. So now we're going to get serious. So you ready to get serious? Let's get serious now. Jokes are over. I go head first into a lot of things I do in life. Maybe you do too. The problem with going head first is that you don't always collect what is strategic or what is fundamentally correct when you do. And let me give you an example. A lot of people, and I'm not going to touch on this topic because I'm just not. But a lot of people, I don't even want to go into why I'm not, but a lot of people are shooting off what they believe, what they don't believe, and you're entitled to that. Got it. I feel like a lot of people are just saying things and they're not really digesting what they're about to say before they say it. And I can familiarize with this all too well because I do the same thing. And a lot of times it's very collected and it's very direct and it's not only punctuated but it's accurate. But then there are some times when I get too used to that style of talk and a voice that I can say things that are somewhat ignorant and that are somewhat naive, have a naivete behind them. And even though I think, yeah, man, I know what I'm talking about here, I don't. And a lot of times you're the same way. And so I feel like headfirst can be a benefit to you. You know, but you gotta be going headfirst with the intent of being collected and being constructive with whatever you're doing. And that's one thing that I feel consciously aware of now more than ever in my life. Before, I probably didn't put a predication on it because I was young. I'm younger. I mean, I'm still young, but I was younger and dumber, and I'm younger and dumber every day that I lived prior to this day, right? But at the same time, I'm understanding that, you know, there's something that pulls at you when you do something or you don't do something, and it's called your conscience. And you can choose to listen to it and you can choose to disregard it. But the more you get older, the more that conscience becomes unbearing. And it should be, because it's taking you in the path that is most profound and prosperous for you. And you can choose to listen to it or not. But I mean, what you do now matters more than what you did when you were 16, 17. And those are facts. So in my life, when I choose to not listen to what I'm saying, what's pulling or tugging at me, they have more detrimental or reverberating effects in the future than if they did if I was a younger buck, right? So not listening to them really can screw me. And if I'm not careful, they can have a perpetuating effect in the future with the things that I do in the future. And I'm realizing that more than ever with not only having a podcast, but having a social media. And although my followers are not large, my viewership is not large, what if one day it is? And right now I'm stuck in a type of, we'll call it a dysfunctional pathology with regards to not collectively, constructively itemizing what I'm saying and it being fruitful and it having accuracy, or at least 97% accuracy to it. Because you're going to come across somebody that I'm not talking about offending people, but you're going to come across somebody that's going to dissect your argument like you would and be like, no, not right. And this is why. And why did you think of this? And da da da. And I'm not saying you can't say, well, yeah, you're right. I apologize. I digress. Or you say, yeah, I contradicted myself there. Big deal. I'm a human being. That happens. You can always say that, and then the argument's done. But what I'm saying is, for more expensive moments in time that are going to cost you, because there are inexpensive and expensive moments that you have in time that you can categorize. There are times where if you say something and you really can't, you can say I was wrong and take it back, and there are things that you can't, that kind of sit with you forever, and they not only affect you, but they affect your livelihood, which is going to affect your family, your immediate family, and going to affect the prosperity that you would have had in the future. And so I'm saying that when I say things now on here or on my social media, as much as I want to deliver a raw and real persona to you, and I'm going to, there is still a way to do it. And that's what I'm learning more and more every single day of my life, that when I choose to listen to it, when I choose to listen to the fact that, look, man, I should have digested that for a second longer, and I should have realized, man, maybe I could have said it this way, still would have conveyed the raw, real authenticity of the notion, but it would have been a better constructed delivery. That's what I'm saying. There's a better constructive way to deliver what you want to say and to deliver who you are and actually illustrate who you are without, and I'm not saying not offending, because you're going to offend people no matter what you do. And if you speak with a contention, you're going to do that. That's not a problem. I'm not recessed from wanting to offend people, because I understand that that's going to happen. It's going to happen. Especially if you've never seen me. If you've seen me, if you view in on one of my podcasts and you listen to 20 seconds, you're probably going to think, this guy's a fucking idiot, dude. Fine. You don't know me. And one thing that I said on the specific time that I said it, in the manner and the mood that I wish I said it with, or that expressed it, it might not sit well with you. That's fine. But if you know me on a long-term scale, and you've been following me, and then you're like, hey man, that's not cool what you said, that resonates with me. Because you already know who I am, and you've already understood my culture, my dynamic. And so when that's something that doesn't sit with you well, and I know that it's something that I could have done better, that's where the construct needs to change. The narrative needs to change a little bit for me. Because if I want to be my best, it's not just imparting on what I'm doing in my physical being, but how I'm elevating or how I'm displaying who I am through my vocal being to everybody around me. That makes a difference. And so, I don't feel like what I'm going to say all the time is going to resonate with people, or what I say is going to be an extension of positivity, because not everything in this world is positive. I'm not about speaking positive. That's flagrant. That doesn't actually exist. Positive thinking is something that you actively do and are. I shouldn't say positive thinking doesn't exist or positive doesn't exist. It does. But what establishes off of positive thinking is you actually taking a notion to be, or taking a stance to be responsible and actively becoming something that you know you can be. That's where positive stems from, is your brain's ability to recognize, look man, I'm good at doing this. Let's keep doing this so I can keep facilitating the reward response associated with the fact that, oh, I can do this good. Instead of the fact of doing something that you suck shit at and perpetually doing that and wanting down a negative rabbit hole, which you should, because you're not good at doing that particular thing. And that's where positive comes and negative comes, or depression comes and facilitation of hierarchy comes. Like, you don't want to be the person that doesn't take a leap or doesn't take a chance and doesn't go head first. But to do that, I'm telling you, you want to be a little bit more constructive and collective before you take that head first dive. It can help you. Just assess a little bit before. Just digest a little longer before you vocalize. Just assimilate a little longer before you react. Because you can still be raw, real, and uncut, bro, if you collectively transpire what you're saying in a constructive way and deliver it in a way that people can actually resonate with and actually take something from it, instead of you just spewing off the mouth and it being just a verbal vomit. Because that doesn't help anybody. And again, I'm learning that more and more. The more I think about, yeah, man, you know what? I'm just gonna say it how I want it, and just, if you can't take it, then you're just weak. Because that's like one side of my head that thinks that. Like, really, one side of my head thinks, you know what? I'm just gonna say it how I say it, and I'm just gonna deliver it how I deliver it. And if you can't handle it, it's just you're weak and you're too sensitive, and you don't need to listen to my word anyways. It's not for you. It's not for you. Like, that's legitimately one portion of my brain that says that. And I think that's the ignorant portion. I think that's the side that's just producing off of the amygdala. And it's not really centralizing the thought process, and it's not really evaluating it, and it's not really I'm not expressing from an intelligent and rational state of mind, which is what our PFC is controlling over. So for all you brainiacs out there, the prefrontal cortex part of the brain is going to be responsible for rationalizing things. And when you come in times of stress, albeit emotional or physical stress, your amygdala is going to be the first thing to respond. Your PFC is somewhat blunted, I believe, from cortisol's output. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it has something to do with that. And you don't think rationally because you got a quick act. But the reason why military, Navy SEALs, you know the reason why they are put in those positions, why they even make it to be a Navy SEAL? Because they can handle pressure like you cannot. And they know how to react in an intelligent and collective way that's not only quick, but effective. And that's the difference between you and a Navy SEAL. I'm not saying to be your best, you got to become a Navy SEAL. But what I am saying is think more along those lines. Put that into perspective. Because they really have your lives in their hands when they fight for you. Do you think that there wouldn't be a pragmatic reasoning behind why they're taught the way they're taught and why they go into the type of training that they go into if it wasn't on purpose to actually save lives and actually provide a type of polarizing effect to the rest of humanity based on the decisions that they make in those moments against terrorists and threats, etc.? So why wouldn't it apply to you or me? I'm telling you, this is all about listening to your conscience. Don't listen. But I guarantee you, if you take a mental inventory of all the times that you've reacted, I've reacted so many. And the times that I didn't react and actually was breathing through the process and digesting and assimilating in a more productive, slower manner, albeit quick, it's also slower than what it would naturally come if I just reacted. Always produces a better response, always produces a better feeling, and it sets me up for a long term. I want to call it a assessment for a more of a long-term pragmatic resolution solution. Whereas before, if I'm reacting and it's not on par, which let's say 5 times out of 10 it's not on par. Like 5 times out of 10, I'm gonna miss the hit. And then I'm gonna have to now I have to repair what I just damaged. So now I'm going backwards. And I'm saying, if you go head first, make sure that you're a little more collected and constructed. And you assess the situation just a second longer. That can be the pivotal change. Or that could definitely just that could be the differentiator of a positive or a negative outcome. Being collected and being constructed before you dive head first. Done.